Welcome back to Grand Ole Opry Live on CMT. I'm Katie Cook, and joining me is tonight's Opry Live host, Lorrie Morgan, and her husband, and one of the stars of tonight's show, Sammy Kershaw. How you guys doing?
We're great.
It sounded amazing. What a great open to the show. Everyone else is going to have a hard act to follow.
Well, I don't know about that, but it's one of my hits, so I decided to do it. Actually, Sammy told me to do it, so I did it.
And you listened.
No, I shouldn't have told her that one because I got to follow it.
Yeah, no, it was smoking, I got to say. Now, we spoke to you earlier on Most Wanted Live, but for anyone who's just joining us now, I want to talk about some of the great things you've got coming up. Of course, your CD and DVD, which is coming out, The Color of Roses. Can't wait to get our hands on that. And, Sammy, I know you're in the studio recording. I know the fans are thrilled to hear that. But we talked very quickly about hotchickens.com, and I want to know more. So can you tell us how this came about?
Well, you know, I always wanted to have a restaurant, and she did too, and I found out, she told me about it, and she always wanted to have this hot chicken place. I had ate it a few times years ago, but wasn't crazy about it the first couple of times, you know. But then I got it fresh one night, and I loved it. And then when she mentioned about opening a hot chicken restaurant, I said, okay, well, let's do it. And she had been talking about it for years, and we just went ahead and decided to do it. And about a year before, I kind of secured the name hotchickens.com because everything is .com.
Yeah.
So
I thought he was kind of crazy. I was like, why are you doing that? But he said that's the name of the restaurant.
And people can actually order the chicken
Order
online, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just dial up hotchickens.com and with the S, of course.
Right.
And you can order online, and we ship it to you the next day or a couple of days later, whatever you want, you know. We'll get it out to you as much as you want.
And it's spicy.
Well, you know, it can be as spicy as you want it. You can order it plain all the way to atomic bomb. But I must tell you, if you order the atomic bomb,
It'll hurt you.
it will hurt you.
It'll hurt you.
It'll hurt you.
It was intended to hurt you. Put it that way. No, it really was. I'm serious. A guy came in there, and first week we were open, and he said, this ain't hot enough. And then one Saturday night he was in there again, and we fixed him up an extra hot, and he said, that still ain't hot enough. And the place was packed, and he kind of tried to embarrass me in front of everybody, you know. So the next morning I went to work on mixing a pepper. So I mixed this pepper up, put it in my hand, and I do I got to taste the pepper, and nothing happened. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way two peppers can neutralize each other, you know.
Exactly. Wait, you know what? I got to ask you to hold this thought.
Seconds.
Because we're actually ready to go back to the stage, but I'm dying to hear the rest of the story. So will you hold on to that and tell me a little later?
Next week?
Oh, okay, excellent. We're going to go back to the stage. I can't wait to hear the end.
And here we are, ready to go.
Talked about bands in country music right now. Pinmonkey. Now, Michael Reynolds, why don't you introduce the band to us?
All right, well, I'm Michael Reynolds, and this is Rick Shell. He's our drummer. Chad Jeffers back here, he's our dobro player. And Michael Jeffers, our bass player.
You guys are brothers.
Yes, we are.
Nice. Now, I promised at the top of the show that I would get to the bottom of this name. Everybody's asking. I know you've been asked this before, but what's a Pinmonkey?
You don't know what a Pinmonkey is.
I'm sorry,
Everybody
I
knows
don't.
that. Well, in the days before automation, bowling alleys would hire lots of times small children to set the pins back up after the patrons would knock them down. But we actually came up with the name not from the bowling reference. Well, actually, it was a bowling reference.
It was, but a little bit by default. What happened is we had booked our first gig, and these guys were all out of town, and the girl who booked the gig for us called me at the house one day, and she said, I'm getting ready to send everything off to the newspapers for the listing for this next week, so if you want this listed as a band, you got to give me a name now. Oh. And so I was in a pinch, and I happened to be watching an episode of The Simpsons, and it was the it's the episode where Homer quits his job at the nuclear plant to take his dream job as a Pinmonkey at the bowling alley. So I just said, Pinmonkey. And she said, what?
But we got to clarify, he said he's just so happened to be watching The Simpsons. He actually said his clock, like his whole day revolves around The Simpsons.
They say that
now
like
we're getting to the bottom of
they
it.
say that like
now
it's a
we're
bad
getting
thing.
Good old Homer. Well, listen, we've only got about 30 seconds left, but let's talk about the single Barbed Wire and Roses, which you performed beautifully a moment ago here on the Opry. Number 31 on Billboard charts, we think, right now?
Yeah.
This is pretty great. Now, again, we're almost out of time, but where were you the first time you heard it on the radio? Were you all together?
Yeah, in the practice
We
room.
were in Minneapolis.
Oh, were we in
Wonderful.
Minneapolis?
Yeah, remember that?
I don't remember.
We were in Minneapolis.
Sure, it's a
in
great
van.
feeling.
We were heading to the airport, and they were doing one of those smash or trash things, you know, where actually people were calling in and voting on it. Thank God out of a 4, we got a 3.8. So.
Did we?
Yeah, we did too
All right,
well.
let's go back to the stage and a performance from Sammy Kershaw. That's great.